All right, guys, if you haven't seen it already, of course, the drama is in full effect. Last night, we had the Apex After Hours, and shortly after, you had many people talking about what Verhulst had to say regards to Raven and the TSM roster and what they were going through before things fell apart. And then you had Raven respond, saying it was disrespectful and that it was uncalled for, and why all of this came about, what Verhulst may have not been telling in the whole truth. And then Imperial Hal coming out to respond literally just minutes ago about all that was going on and his take on the situation. Man, it is a spicy one to say the least, and that's most of today's video. But before we jump into it, firstly, Falcon Esports in first place in some of the scrims yesterday. Skid Mark with Raven's team that he's coaching. Nice to see those two up at the top. Furia in third place. EC, Disguised, SSG, Liquid, TSM, Flat, Temper in the top 10. So it's going to be very interesting over time to see these teams compete against each other at LAN, Pro League, regional finals, whatever the case may be. There's a lot of, I don't know, like Hal said, I don't know if you would really call it beef. It's just one of those things where it's a pain point. It's tension there, and it's something that we all want to talk about when it comes to playing these LAN events. And I guess it really gets emotions high, and that's one thing we're excited about. So firstly, you had what simply Verhulst had to say, and then the response coming from Raven right after. Roll the clips.
You know, Raven was really good at that at the start, but I feel like towards the end he started to just get like pissed off when we were losing. But now, like at the start, Raven was like our therapist, right? Kept Hal sane, but towards the end it was like he was just getting pissed off. He's like, "Man, we're trash." Like Talmadge just kind of like reminds me of how Raven was at the start. You know, keeps everyone happy, and you know, as far as like strategy goes, you know, he's pretty dang helpful. Like he what he says is right, like 90% of the time. And he's really good at clearing the air and like what we need to work on
a skill level of coaching, right? Do you think he's similar to Raven? Because Raven, I called him the Bill Belichick of Apex coaches. Where do you think Talmadge sort of stacks on that?
I think Raven, like when we first had Raven, like the first like few months we had him, he was just like God coach, like uncomparable to anybody else. I feel like towards the end he fell off a bit. I think we all fell off a little bit. I'd say Talmadge and Raven, like Raven towards the end of when we had him versus Talmadge now, I think they're pretty similar. So I'd say right now, Raven and Talmadge are somewhat similar. Yeah, I don't think I wouldn't rank one. Maybe Raven's a little bit ahead of Talmadge right now, but I do feel like Raven lost a bit of passion towards the end. And I just think that like as of now, they're not far apart, Raven and Talmadge.
I had to deal with some players just not being honest about how they actually felt about their drive. And if he wants to call that me falling off, sure, whatever. I'll take it. Maybe I could have dealt with it better. But if anyone fell off, the man wasn't playing the game. There is no reason at the highest level the standards should be even to have conversations about even just playing the game, booting up the game. Like, do you think anyone on Dark Zero has to be told to play the game? No. No one on Dark Zero ever has to be told to play the game, to boot up the game outside of scrims. So why is that a conversation that we had to bring up? And you can tell, the actions didn't line up with the words. The actions. Because you just look at streaming patterns. If streaming and playing was down, just look at objective facts. The passion was clearly not there, and my intuition, my gut was right, and I brought it up, and I kept being reassured that I was going to change, and then it kept not changing. So yeah, after a while, you get frustrated, you get mad. What am I supposed to do? I keep getting reassured that it's going to change, and then it doesn't. It's crazy. What am I supposed to do? If players don't take initiative and don't show any passion and don't show any energy, what am I supposed to do as a coach? I'm not a head coach, so I can't threaten them with their position on the team. I can't be like, hey, if you don't pick it up, if you don't pick up the slack, you're off the team or you're benched. I can't do that because I don't have to control the roster. So what am I supposed to do? After a while, I tried. I tried. But after a while, there's nothing I can do. And so I just kind of got a little complacent because my energy wasn't being reciprocated. Like, there's no reason he can't get back to the top, but I just felt like it was pretty disrespectful and unfair for him to bring that up and not be self-aware as to the fact that he wasn't playing the game sometimes at some points, and we had to have conversations about that.
So shortly after that happened, you see Verhulst say what he says. Raven comes out to say it wasn't really fair. He has to defend himself. Here's what was really going on behind the scenes. Here's what his side of the story was. Then you have Hal making a response to all of this. And I got to say, I was not prepared for some of what I was about to see, even making a comparison to Albrelelli. And of course, a lot of people in the comments went crazy for this one. Here's what Hal had to say. Roll the clip.
Waterboy's 21 months. No, I knew, like, all those things about what he said about, like, dealing with me and playing with me, like, I know about it. But when I try to confront him and, like, tell him about it, like, he would just lie to me and say it's not about me, it's, like, blah, 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 like, I don't know. He was, like, just lying to my face, saying it wasn't it wasn't me the entire time, even though it was and I felt like it was. Maybe because he just knew that I wouldn't be able to change or whatever. Which is, like, I guess fair, but I don't know. It's just fucking weird. I don't know. I don't know, like, what's the point? I don't know, it's just... It's just... Another thing, since we're all being honest, and, you know, I know Evan likes being honest. I know I love being honest. I love being honest. Okay? So, Evan... I told this to Jordan months ago. I told this to Jordan months ago. And I know people that have been, you know, watching for a while, and they will agree with me as soon as I say this. And I hope it doesn't go down that path. I really hope it doesn't. But we'll see. But you are turning out just like to be Mac. You and Mac were in the same exact fucking boat.
And then after that, to take it a step further, you even had just recently on stream today, Verhulst going on to say he's actually had a lot more fun with the game since he stopped teaming with Hal. And it's a lot easier to play without him. Roll the clip.
I know Hal got mad that I started playing the game more since he left, but it's like it's way easier to play the game when I know that I'm not playing with him, and that's just the truth. Like it's just he makes it hard to play. He makes it hard to want to grind.
So interesting stuff to say the least. Don't forget ALGS is going to be live again with Pro League. And by the way, we did return to stream. We had a really good outcome yesterday in our solo showdown. Thank you all to showing up and having fun in that. We're also going to do some watch parties here for ALGS over on our twitch.tv/jmeyels. Some this Saturday, mostly on the weekends though. So make sure to tune in and go follow us over there if you're interested. This week, you're going to have Group B versus Group C on Saturday. That's Ape Gang. Actually, this is June 9th, so this is technically, I'm pretty sure, Sunday. So Sunday at 6 p.m., you've got Ape Gang, you've got Board, Complexity, EC, LG, NGNL, Not Moist, Skidmark, Edgers, TSM, which is Group B, and then you're going to have Group C, which is Cloud9, Disguised, Flat, Furia, Liquid, Native, Oblivion, Stallions, Temper, and Vanity. I think we're all prepared and ready for the following week, in which you should see A versus B, which is going to be Falcons and TSM in the same group together. I think we all want to see this storyline continue. LG as well, many of these other teams. It's just in general, you know, Hal did say he's just doing it for the views and all this drama. Regardless of what you think, I think it's always helpful that this stuff keeps getting amplified. It gets more people involved in the esport. People want to see how things are going, so I'm always for it at the end of the day. Let me know what you guys think down below, and until the next time, we'll see you all later, Gators.